All right, good morning, everybody. It's the last day of the week, and I'm excited to code. That's what I do on Fridays. I like coding. It's more relaxing for me. Okay. How was assignment 1? Were you able to do your tutorial?
No assignment.
The lab assignment.
Still working on it.
They're still working on it. Okay, remember, when did I put it the deadline? Month.
I think yesterday the Lawrence that's homework was due, but it's not due until.
Okay. All right. Okay. Now, okay, I'll check the dates and I'll give you extra time if I didn't put a date. But the first assignment is for you because from now on we're going to use code. Okay, so how to create a repository, how to synchronize your repository from the cloud to HydroShare. That's going to happen on your end. Okay, so make sure you do a good tutorial because it's for you. Okay, today we have a list of things to do. First, we need to check the resources that we're going to use. And we cover this in the introduction of the class. Let me see, where is all of this? We're talking about So for this, for the laboratories, we say we're going to use Python notebooks and Google Earth Engine. And today is the intro to all of that. Last lab was about GitHub, a tutorial or a crash course into GitHub capabilities. Now, what we're going to use is information from different sources, especially the one that is for GEEMAP. This first link, bookgeemap.com.org, bookgeemap. This is the website of one of the repositories we're going to use. I strongly recommend you that when you have time, check this website because this is a very in-depth series of information and code on how to manipulate remote sensing data. During the class, we're going to be covering concepts like reflectance, vegetation indexes, classification, regression activities with remote sensing data, but you want to do more than that. So this is basically an online book that has 11 chapters that you can learn from it. Now, recently, the remote sensing community has got together and has developed a book, a recent book on applications of remote sensing on hydrology, on water resources, on different areas. And that is called, is this link, www.eefabook.org. Let's check that website. www. Okay. This is another resource that you have to your disposition. This is a book that the community has developed for you. This will deal with very different topics. This is a book for applications. Like if you are looking for ideas for your term project, Here is a table of content. The fundamentals, applications, for example, human applications, aquatic and hydrological application, terrestrial application. Every section has applications on agriculture, urban environments, air pollution, heat island, health applications. In aquatic and hydrological applications, we have ground monitoring, wetlands, we have surface water mapping, like rivers, lakes, water reservoirs, river morphology, when rivers change course over time, how to monitor that, water balance and drought. So let's if we let me see, if we go to that section, this is the chapter of the book, and they will explain what's the goal of this subsection, what's the learning outcome, the theory about measuring groundwater with remote sensing data or groundwater conditions. Now, in the book, there are going to be pieces of code. Now, there is a caveat about this book. If you look closely to the code, this is not Python. This is JavaScript. Okay? So, but there is a tiny difference between JavaScript and the Python that we're going to use. The main difference is that if you delete the var wording in that and paste it on Python, that code, 90% of that code will run. The other 10% is syntaxes. Like Python never have semicolons. So it is possible to take this JavaScript code and adapt it to our Python code. So pretty much we can replicate any of the examples here on this book to a Python. So this might be another source for third projects. So it is quite detailed. This book is, so this is, for example, a time series of water content, groundwater content for the Sacramento San Joaquin Valley, and this is the entire time series of that satellite data. The same can be done for other satellites or other remote sensing information. Is that clear? Okay. Questions? No questions? It's a good book. So you have two major resources. The first one is the GEEMAP book, and the second is the EEFA book.rog. Okay, so those are the resources. Let me see if we have more resources. There are also people that have been doing research with Google Earth Engine, and will be this link, the MDPI book 1262. Let's give it a quick look. MDPI books book. $1262. Okay, so this is a journal, a research journal that make a special edition asking authors for papers that use this platform to do research. So it's in a form of a book. Let's see if we have the index around. How do I maximize this? Okay. It's not letting me. Can you read it? For example, this paper is about global estimation biophysical variables using Google Earth Engine. This is mapping vegetation land uses in China, a dynamic Landsat NDVI product for the entire for the conterminous United States. So one of the advantages of Google Earth Engine is that you're not limited to a tiny site. You could do your analysis for the entire state of Utah, for the entire Cache Valley, or for the entire country, or for the entire planet. Now, the platform won't put any limitations on you. It will take longer to run for the entire planet, but that doesn't mean it will limit resources for the cloud resources. It will run. You just need to wait. But if you want to see, for example, what's the NDVI across Utah, it's possible to generate it and generate it per year. So you can have like a map of vegetation conditions per year, and you can compare a dry year, a drought year, very dry year versus a normal year versus a wet year, and see changes in the pattern of vegetation. So Google Earth Engine will allow us to do that. So resources, plenty. Questions? No? Okay. Let me see what else we have here. Yeah. All right. How many of you created your Google Earth Engine account? Ready? Okay, very good. HydroShare. I remember some of you had issues last time. Is it solved?
Yeah, we got it.
Okay. So if so, let's log in HydroShare. Okay. Remember, we want to open the Jupyter Quasi. And we want to select the first one, Python 3.8. Is everybody able to log in? Okay, good. In the meantime, for Tuesday, you have to present an idea of what you want to work, right? But you haven't seen yet what data you have available, unless you have your own data. So let me show you where the data is, all the archive. So if you go to a browser, you type Google Earth Engine datasets. You're going to be, you will hit this website, the Earth Engine Data Catalog. This is a special website for the platform where they will list all the data they have in archive. Okay, give me a topic. What would you like? What variable from remote sensing would you like to have access to?
You mean like kind of NDVI or like that?
What about population? Do you think population can be represented in an image?
Like asphalt.
Hmm?
Not like concrete.
Concrete, okay.
Asphalt.
Let me start with population. Population. So every catalog has been related to keywords, or every data set has been related with keywords like population, like vegetation, drought, water bodies, evapotranspiration, rainfall, precipitation. So as you type a word, the archive is going to show you different products that the remote sensing community has been developing for that specific concept. So this is a raster version of the population on Earth. If we check the first one, GPWB 411. This is a raster or an image representation of the amount of population in a specific location. Is produced by NASA. The data, the availability of this data is from 2000 to 2020. Now, here is a description of it. It says this data is for the years 2020, 2005, 2010, so every 5 years. And every pixel is approximately represent 1 kilometer. So it's the amount of population or now 1 by 1 kilometer for these years. Another piece of information you need to look when you check one of these variables is the bands. The bands are going to tell us the pixel resolution and what is the characteristic, what are the units of the value on that pixel. In this case, says the minimum value is 0, the maximum value is 140 and thousand people as a maximum value on a pixel. And it says is the estimated number of persons by age and sex per pixel cell. Now, at the bottom of every piece of information, there is a small piece of code. Okay, this is JavaScript. How do I know it's Java? Because it says var, and it has semicolons. It's very similar to Python. So if I want to see quickly this data, I click here in the blue button, open in code editor. If you have 2 Gmail access, it's going to ask you, which one are you using? This screen might not show up for you. This is the online JavaScript version of Google Earth Engine. Okay, and I don't see my code. Did it show for you guys?
It's there.
Okay, now I can't increase or decrease this view. What I have here is code that I've been copying.
Sorry, click on the open in the code editor. I did, but it goes to that code editor. It just showed me the your first, and then open the editor for me.
Try again. Okay, now, but I'm not seeing the map. So I have that piece of code. So to see the code to results, click run. I'll check with you a bit. So I maximize, I can move the map. I can zoom out. And my mouse is also a inquire cursor. If I click inspector, I click on the map, and it tells me that the value where I clicked, this is the value in that area, which is basically 0. I can click in another location and the population is. The color scheme is not that great, but let me click on one of those darker points. So I have 35 people living in that square kilometer. So that database that we're looking at has an option to show us quickly the data before we import that data set in our analysis. So to go back to the origin, you click home. You want to see another type of data set. Let's say evapotranspiration. Who knows what is evapotranspiration? Okay, what is it?
From and also evaporated from soil.
Yeah, is the water that plants and soils will contribute to the atmosphere due to the effect of the solar radiation happening. So if I type evapotranspiration, it will show me products related with evapotranspiration. There is one that is very recent, and this is from our colleagues in Nevada. Let me see. This one, the OpenET 30-meter resolution evapotranspiration. This is a recent project. Utah State is involved in this too, that is producing monthly ET data for the Western US, okay, every month since 2016 until 2021. That's the amount of data they have put in there. What are the description? This is a data set that is the average of multiple data sets. The pixel size is 30 meters by 30 meters. What are the bands? Always check the bands. It's going to tell us that this has average. This is an average value, but eliminating outliers. This is what's the minimum value in the range, what's the maximum value in the range, and how many models were averaged to get this monthly value. And I am not sure about the Bismarck. I will have to read more about it, but let's check the data. Wonder why it's slightly slow. Okay, there you go. The code has loaded. If you want to see the results, click run. That's ET. If I want to see Logan, you can zoom in. That is the Great Salt Lake. You can, in this page, you can turn off the layer and start navigating to Logan. It's slow today.
Yeah, you can layer up.
Say here. You unselect that one. So this is the ET map, but I want to get closer because I want to see the parks, I want to see the quad, I want to see the farms. This is a quick, rapid view of the data before you, yes.
So when you get these maps or data, it can be like a raster files, right?
Right now, everything is on the cloud.
Yeah. What's format? Raster file or
This is on a, what is called cloud optimized GeoTIFF. Okay, now the mechanisms to download this data, I have to show you. I have a code or an example prepared to delimit a zone, an area that you are interested, call the name of the product, what are the dates that you want, and then get it to your file, to your local computer. But initially, we're going to work everything on the cloud. When we finish our analysis, we can download the results. Okay, so let me turn off the layer. Here is, I can put the satellite view. Okay, let me see if I can zoom in more. Yes. So I have the quad here. I have the golf course here, and I have the cemetery here. Let's see the values. So I have the, okay, let's see the ET values. This is monthly ET. For the cemetery is, did we check the units? Let's check the units. Millimeters of water per month. Okay. The cemetery is using about 900 millimeters of water per month. The golf course, just up there, is using about 800 millimeters of water per month. What about the quad? Where is the quad? Here. Here is the quad. Let me. Okay. How much water the quad uses? About.
Doesn't provide some legend that you can see.
Say that again.
Legend that you can see the color doesn't show which.
Not in this version. Not in this version of, in this JavaScript version of the platform, there is no legend. So, but in the Python version, we can add legends of, or the range of values of the map. So, but here, this is a quick assessment. Let's say your advisor tells you, can you check what data set we have for this study site we have, I don't know, in Bernal. So you can go to Google Engine, you have your account, select the layer that you want, in this case, ET. Okay, oh, these guys from OpenET says that the ET, it's about, or the consumption of water of this alfalfa or this core site, it's about this amount of water. So you can do a quick view, quick analysis. Okay, one question for you. Can you read this code? Need to know. I need to see your computer literacy. What's the first line? What is the first line doing? Just a guess.
Collecting data.
It's
First line?
Yeah, the first line.
Collecting the data and looking for time that we need.
Yes, it's opening the specific directory of this data set within Google Earth Engine. Opening t/, all of that is the name of this data set. The dot in line 2 means the first line is continuing the sentence, and then it's saying filter the range of the dates between, it's saying it's 2020, the first day of the year, and the end date is the same date. But remember, this date is monthly, so it's picking up the January 2020 layer. So now, no, sorry, 2021. This is a full year of data.
12 years, isn't
To
it?
12 layers,
Images.
12 images. After that, in line 4 is saying ET is equal to my variable data set from line 1. From that data set, there are multiple layers that we saw in the description. I'm selecting one in specific, the one that gives me the average of all the models that this organization uses to calculate ET. So it's saying select that layer and sum it. Sum is what the numbers we're seeing, that 800 and 900 is the sum of the total amount of water used on a year. Okay, so those 800 is 800 millimeters per year. So is the syntax complex? No, it's simple. Then line number 6, the visualization variable tends to be a bit complex, but it's saying put a 0 value, or the minimum value 0, the maximum value 1400 millimeters per year, and palette is the type of colors. The type of colors here are expressed in numbers. And why in numbers? It's a different way to determine colors. So each of these combination of letters and numbers is a color. How you can know that? You just copy any of them, open a tab, paste it. That's the color. It's light green. You go to another one. Copy. Dark blue. So instead of saying red, green, blue, so creating our own sequence of colors, you can specify in what is called the hexadecimal color as naming a specific tone of the color. So the list that is here, this sequence, this is the color for 0. This will be the color for 1400, and the code is going to interpolate between all these other colors that I'm listing there. So I can be choosing here red, I can be choosing here blue, and I decided to put a green here, a yellow here, a brown here. So if I decide that's the color ramp or color sequence that I'm interested, I can do it. I can do this, for example. I can delete all of these guys and only have 2 colors. If I rerun again, it's loading. So it's between yellow and yellowish and bluish. So I put the intermediate colors to differentiate certain values of the of ET. So I can create different color ramps. I can do Control C here. Can I? Yes, I can. Now, the next sentence is going to say, map force the center of this view to this longitude and latitude and the level of zoom. I wanted a zoom of 1 is very close. A zoom of 14 is the farthest, like seeing the entire planet. So I'm going to, if I choose a 5, I'm closer to a country scales level of zoom. And I need to add this variable ET to the map. So map, add layer, ET, use the visualization variable conditions, and give it a name, Open ET Ensemble Monthly ET. This text shows here, Open ET Ensemble Monthly ET. Okay, so easy to understand or relatively easy? Yeah, go ahead.
How is the maximum value determined? Is that just?
You pick up the value. Yeah. Because I might be studying an area where, let's say, the Sahara Desert. What do you think is the maximum ET in the Sahara or the maximum water use? Yeah, it's probably going to be 5,000 per year. Okay, so I will force the maximum value to be 500 to see contrast in my ET values. Otherwise, everything is going to look basically the same color.
Okay. So in this map, if the value is higher than 1400, it just doesn't show up as anything. Is it excluded?
Give it a look. That's why code was invented. You see, it forced any value higher than 500 is dark blue now. So let's say, let's change it to, look, especially this area, okay? This area. Let me change it to 800. It starts showing up. So as we define the upper and limit, upper and lower limits, we might see more or less detail. Easy? Okay, this is good because all the code that we're going to work is not that complex. This is about the level of complexity that we are going to see. So there is no reason to be afraid to try or change a piece of the code because it's code. We can go back to the original version. And as we're doing today, we're just changing numbers, seeing how it reacts the code and learning from them. Okay. All right, now datasets. So as part of the datasets, okay, for your term project, okay, you need to, as you decide if I'm going to work on burning areas, I'm going to work on chlorophyll measurements, I'm going to work on erosion, I want to work on detection of garbage in the ocean, I can start looking for terms here. If I'm looking for chlorophyll, there are some products already that are designed that have been calculated for that. These are for these maps that are seen on the top, those are chlorophyll for the ocean. So maybe I'm not doing work in the ocean, I'm doing work in land. So maybe I will need to develop my own data. And your own data is probably going to come from applying vegetation indexes or algebra to the pixels. So to do those vegetation indexes, here we have specific tags for products that are that are used very often: Landsat, MODIS, and Sentinel. Landsat, MODIS, and Sentinel, those are imagery that allow us to get a real view of the surface, like what we call it true color of the surface, but also it allows us to see surfaces with infrared light. So the red is vegetation. So as we progress in the course, we will understand how this combination of bands affect the colors that we detect with our eyes. But these are the data that we will use to calculate, for example, a chlorophyll index, or the health of the vegetation, or the areas that have been burned, or detect occurring wildfires, or detect landslide areas. So this is Landsat, Sentinel. This is from the European Space Agency. This is similar to Landsat with a shorter period of time than Landsat that we can use. MODIS is also another satellite that will give us same type of information, but the pixel is larger, is like 0.5 kilometer pixel. Sentinel, the pixel size is 10 meters or 30 feet. So it's about this room. Okay, this is 1 pixel. Okay, and Landsat is 30 meters per pixel or 100 feet. So it's slightly coarser, but MODIS is 0.5 kilometer. Okay, so as
it does provide the land use. Of course, it provides, and I wanted to know how is it accuracy?
the accuracy, land use, for example, land use. I have this is there is here land use or landscape change monitoring. Oh no, the correct name is land cover land use, because I'm looking for land cover. Oh, look, Iran land cover map. That's there. Here, this one, the global land cover map. This is a map that uses the classification used in the US to differentiate forest areas, agricultural, urban, different levels of urban areas, wetlands, fallow areas, tundra, permanent snow. So this is a map that is very used in assessment of ecosystems and landscapes. So the data is there already. It's telling us that there is one band and the quality of the result of that pixel. So there is, but typically you have to refer to the study that is related to this map. Where is the study? Here, citations. Here is the website where they describe how they generated this data, what's the accuracy, some issues with the data that might occur, so you can learn more about the data set. And again, you can click on the code example. So Iran is uploading data. That's good.
Actually, I think because of the really late, they did something classification and then collected my data and found.
Well, that's good. I run it. But this one doesn't have the colors. Remember that visualization variable in the other code is not here. So it's just when you don't put colors, it's going to look like this, a gray scale. You can still inspect it. It's going to tell you that that value is 130, and according to this, 130 is shrubland. Okay, enough of, so data sets, I recommend you to explore the website, the Google Earth Engine data set, to start getting familiar with what data you can use. Okay, there is data only for the US, there is data for the entire planet, or there is data exclusively to a country, like the example for Iran. There is a lot of data that comes just from Australia. So just checking on that data. Okay. Right. Where are we? Where are we? Resources. We talk about these data sets. Okay. Time to work. So let's take a break of 5 minutes because I need water. Questions? I think about questions. Remember, this tool is very advanced. So, and also easy to use. So tell me what you need. Yeah.
Is there a way, or I don't know if this is post-processing, like when you pull in the data or download it, but say you're looking at like the 1 meter GEEMAP map and there's a lot of holes in certain areas, and you want to say take the 10 meter one and overlay the parts where the 1 meter doesn't fill in. Is there a way to do that in Google Earth Engine or
like interpolate the holes?
yeah?
Good question. I haven't looked into that. I mean,
Do that in, like GIS.
yeah, probably we'll have to download the data and do a kriging approach. There should be, maybe there is kriging already, because most of the analysis that I do is pixel-based, like transformation of data, vegetation indexes generation, classification. So never had to do what you're asking. Okay, one little thing about Google Earth Engine, that he has a DEM raster and there are holes in the raster. Can Google Earth Engine interpolate? So here there is the help. Here here there is an icon here, the interrogation sign. You click there. There is the developer discussion group. There is the Q&A site. So let's see there. So this is people, this is today, people asking that type of questions. So how do you look into that? DEM kriging. Nobody has put specifically kriging, but I can say interpolation. Inverse distant weighting interpolation. That seems to be generate 100 random points, then for each point extract a 3.3 for DEM to interpolate the elevation point using inverse Krieg interpolation. If I feel the code will run out of time if it goes beyond that. So this is a discussion on this specific topic. Might help or might not help. So there are, as a tool, there might be some limitations to it and what it can do, but sometimes there are some clever solutions here. So that's another way to deal with those questions. Nearest neighbor interpolation. I like that one. Oh, look here. It's not kriging, but says nearest neighbor interpolation. How I can fill the no data value in a single band image using nearest neighbor interpolation as implemented below. It will fill the voids in a raster than as a DEM. You might get a better answer, but you can use a focal median on your DEM. So focal median is like you have a 3x3 or 5x5 window and you assign weights to every. So when it's focal, it could be every value is the same. The central value is higher, the perimeter values are higher, but there is a link here that shows how to implement the technique. And this is the code. So might not be the kriging, exactly kriging, but there might be other solution that you can implement. All right, let's go back to our. Yes.
Also provide ground truth data or
Say that again.
provide ground truth data or not? Next.
Ground truth data.
I mean, like counter observation data.
Or you want to put observation data?
I wanted to know, provide this kind of data set or not. Like if they go for the land use, land cover, so of course
Yes.
they went into the field and see
Yes.
if like farming or others, and they recorded this kind of data to develop with some of the like classification.
Oh yeah, you want to know if they provide the ground truth data for the products they are there?
Yeah, and then
No.
they use it for other stuff.
Not, I don't think the data is in Google Earth Engine. It will be in the original study that described the raster product will indicate where that data is. So it might be a shapefile, it could be a CSV where they have coordinates and classes that that could be retrieved, but typically they don't put validation data here. It's just the product, the final product here. Okay. All right. This part of Google Earth Engine, the first version of this class was in JavaScript. It was a bit rough because not many were too familiar with the syntax of JavaScript. Despite it's not hard, but remembering that the code will fail if you forget to put the semicolons and the bar expression in front. So the good thing is now this is in Python version, and you might have seen some Python in your life at this point. So, but nevertheless, it's not hard. It's the same syntax used in a different environment. So let's start working with our HydroShare Jupyter notebook. Okay, do you have a window like mine in HydroShare? Yes, all right. What folders do you have? I mean, don't look at mine. Mine is an archive of 5-year tinkering with this, but
Mine says download HydroShare and lost it down.
okay. So the first thing that you're going to do, and let me see what I have here. I think that my has been in idle mode for a while that they stopped my service, but I can reinitiate it. So, okay. Yeah, Professor, you have told us the wonders about Google Earth Engine. You show us this, but when are we going to code? Yes, I know you are desperate for coding. So let's start doing that, okay? So log in into your Jupyter Hubs. And today we're going to start applying what we learned last time. We need to bring code from GitHub into this environment, okay? And we need to do it in an organized manner because you are engineers and scientists, so you will put right names to the folders and organize your data. So you will remember where you put things later. Okay, so for that, we just need to put some logic on what we're going to do in this environment. So this is, let me go close this one so it looks like yours. So I might have some folders there, and I have this screen. The top are going to give me access to notebooks where I can code. The consoles we're not going to use, but they allow us to access Python configuration for these cloud resource. But we're going to use the terminal. The terminal will allow us to install Python packages or modules. For example, there are Python packages that will make the code, a Python package that will ease our life when we're coding in Google Earth Engine. Other packages will have examples of data, like we want to run an example of seasonal analysis of vegetation in Utah, somebody wrote, and they use this package for that piece of code. We can bring that package using the terminal. So it's very, very straightforward. So, okay, tell me again, what folder do you see? Mine is different.
Downloads, HydroShare, +++.
Okay, so what I'm going to do, okay, so what I will say, create a folder here. You see this icon? It's a folder with a plus. Click it here, there. It will show an untiled folder. Call it CEE 503. And then click anywhere else so the name enters. Done? Awesome. Now, so I have a new folder called CE 5003, the code of this class. What I need to do now is to bring code. Remember, we are talking about GEEMAP and others from GitHub that we were perusing in GitHub, and you can do the same. You find a tweet of somebody or a paper that says my code is in this GitHub repository. How do I bring that code here? So to do that, we're going to use what we learned on the last session. We're going to open a terminal. Okay. And then the next step is to navigate to the folder that we just created. CD. Now, first we need to know where we are, ls. Check the name of the names with the folders that you have on the left, and that will tell you where you are. So if I see all these names, it's telling me I'm in the root folder or in the home folder in Linux. But I need to be inside the folder CEE 5003. So I need to type CD CEE 5003, enter. If the command is successful, you will see next to your HydroShare username, you got the name of the folder now. Is everybody there? Perfect. Okay, now remember what was the command to clone GitHub repositories in a terminal as part of your tutorial. Okay, so we need to go to GitHub first. GitHub. And this is our job. We're going to clone GEEMAP, emont, and the GitHub repository for this class. So we have to clone 3 GitHub repositories. How we do that? First, let's find GEEMAP. How we find it? Type GEEMAP in the search. The one that I'm looking is this one, a Python package for interactive Google Earth Engine, IP leaflet, and IP widgets. I click on that one. Okay, is everybody found the repository? Okay, I'm going to check the README. Yes, this is the one I'm looking for. Okay, now how do I clone from GitHub to HydroShare? I click on the green button. Okay. Then I see an address. I'm going to copy on the double square icon. It says copy it. Then I go to the terminal on HydroShare, and I'm going to type git clone, and I'm going to press Ctrl B and then enter. Easy peasy? Yes. So this is the way you can bring any Python or Jupyter notebook code from GitHub to this environment. And this command that we just passed is part of your tutorial. So I'll give you 100 or less than that if that command is not there. Okay. Okay, done. What's the next one? EEMont. That's the next GitHub repository we need to clone. Okay, we go to GitHub, we go to the search box, and we put EEMont. And I have to make sure that the search button says all GitHub. And here it says a Python package that extends Google Earth Engine. This, I click there. I verify in the README that it is the one that I'm looking for. Yes. Look, this repository, and why I check the README? Because it tells me, hey, I have tutorials for you. And it's not just code, that he has an explanation of examples of his code. Okay. And he has a paper too. He published a paper about this piece of code he developed. Good. All right. Okay, how do I clone it? Already know. Click on the green button. Click on the double square. It has to say copy it. Go to the terminal. Here I have to make sure that I'm still in the CEE 5003 folder. If I'm in another route, in another direction, it's going to install it in the new direction. So if I want to put all my GitHub repositories in this folder, always just quick check that you are in the right folder there. So again, git clone, Control V, enter. Easy peasy. Okay, took me 6 months to figure out this. Okay, now if you go to the Explorer, folder Explorer, and you double click there, you have installed EEMont and GEEMAP. Okay, so now I have code. I can, now the last one that we need to look is the labs that we have for this class. So you need to look for is, let me see. I just recently changed the name for this. Okay. The name that you're looking for is RS of Land Surface Laboratory. This is the name. RS of Land Surface Laboratory. RS of Land Surface Laboratory. All GitHub. My username is Divining Water. Has been a while since I physically measure water. I see water from space for at least 10 years. So I'm like those guys that goes with a stick looking for what, yes, here there is ET, here there is no ET. So I'm like that guy. So that's why my nickname or my username is Divining Water. So I work in water, but I don't touch water anymore. So I joke on my work. So once you have this one, always check the README. This is a series, and you see the code of the classes there, CE 5003. Then again, easy peasy, click code, double square, go to the terminal, check you are in the folder, git, clone, Control V. And you can see in your folders the new. Okay, so now you are expert in GitHub integration into a cloud Jupyter Python environment. Okay, all right. Okay, so we have done this one. Now, but for your homeworks, where you're going to work your homeworks, we said that we're going to use GitHub. Okay, so that means you need to have a repository of your own where you're going to be uploading your homeworks. Okay, so how do I create a repository? Well, for you, and then clone that repository into HydroShare. So I'm going to go to GitHub again. I'm going to click on the cat. And then you're going to, did we create a repository last time? Yes. What's the name you gave it?
CE 5003 assignments.
Okay, perfect. If you have that already, I think I have it here. I call it USU CE 5000 assignments. Okay, so we need this repository because here you're going to be developing your own notebooks and then pushing from HydroShare to GitHub. So clone this repository too. Oh. Okay, what is? Huh. In my case, it asked me for a password, but did it ask for a password for you? Yes,
I just never made
public.
it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh, yes, yes. So I'm going. Remember, we created a token last time that we say we're going to keep it on a document. So whenever I need it, I will copy. If it's yeah, as you say, if it's private, it's going to ask you for that. But if it's public, it's not going to ask you.
Where'd you go to make it public?
Yes, setting. And then.
I think here, you are in your repository, click settings. You go down, I think, features. Has to be at the here. Change repository visibility. Click change visibility, change to public. That's where it is. If you want the repository to not to ask you for your username and password. Okay. Were you able to complete these 4 clonings? Okay, perfect. Now you are ready. Let's see, what is this? Okay, now we enter to run our first piece of code. Yes, finally, you are ready. Okay. Let me show you something in YouTube first. This class, I'm going to show you, I'm going to go step by step with you for you to understand the code, the data, and that is a slower process. And you might want to move faster. Okay, you might want, oh, this professor, we're still in classification and I need to be doing let's say downscaling of the data, where I learned that stuff, how I go faster than the class. YouTube. No, and I said in a good way. GitHub has become, no, YouTube has become a platform to learn. I'm learning stuff of software that I'm using in another class from GitHub, from YouTube. I read the paper, I go how they implement it, and I say, okay, I have this data, I can run it now. So here, type GEEMAP. And the professor, Qiushen Wu, he created GEEMAP. Okay, so in his videos, let me see, in the playlist, no, this, no, I want, come on. Here, the Google Engine and GEEMAP tutorials. If you click there, the GitHub repository that we cloned, okay, there are code in there. This is the video that explains that code. And he has over 100 examples. So when I say this class will move slow, yes, I'm going to teach you how to understand the reflectance, temperature data. So I'm going to show you the very fundamentals. If you need to move faster, I'm giving you the tools to move faster. So go to this, you find an option that he's doing here, okay? Because the code, you already have it in HydroShare. You just already clone it. You can run it and you can come with questions. Professor, I'm running this, what is doing? I'm not understanding this step. Okay? So you can move faster than the class and some or learn fast other applications too. Okay, there is a lot of things. The latest tutorial he created is that it is possible to combine Google Engine and ArcGIS Pro. So next year, the class, I'm planning to move it from HydroShare to ArcGIS Pro. Why? Because in ArcGIS Pro, the zonal statistics or drawing vectors is much efficient there than in Google Engine. So this is the next step, but he published this code 1 month ago. So for next year, the class is going to be still coding, but it's going to be now on ArcGIS.
Coding there.
It's code, yeah, now it has coding capability. So it's coding, but then you combine, I want to clip this area, I want to do kriging, I want to have multiple polygons and I want the average for each polygon. So that is much easier in ArcGIS Pro. Okay, so let's run code then. Let's see let's pick up one. Okay, calculated global land cover area with only one line of code. That seems too easy. Let's look. Calculate zonal statistics with Google Engine, tutorial 108. Okay, we have a video there. We don't have time to watch the videos because we're busy people. So we're going to go to our folder in GEEMAP. Okay, and we're going to go, I think, on the tutorials. No, not the tutorials. We're going to go to examples. GEEMAP examples notebook. Every code for the code for every YouTube video is here. What was the YouTube video? 108. Let's go. So let's navigate to 108 here. 108 image zonal statistics. You found it? Yes? No? Okay. Double click on that one, on 108. Okay, this is the code. And before we run it, we have to do a tiny step. As he progresses as he develops new examples, he's updating the original code or the original Python algorithms. The version that is installed on the cloud is an earlier version of it. So to run the most recent examples, we need to do something in the terminal. We have to say, and this is the command, pip minus capital U GEEMAP. PIP space minus capital U space GEEMAP. Oh, sorry. Why is not? Oh, sorry. It's PIP space install minus U minus capital U GEEMAP. Do you get this a screen like mine? Yes, it's PIP space install space minus capital U space GEEMAP. What it's doing is I'm telling Python to update that library. Now, with that update, I go back to the code. So this is, how many of you have worked with Jupyter notebooks? Yes. No? Okay. All right. A Jupyter notebook is a series of cells, okay, that you can pass code or you can pass text. And the thing is, we can run one by one. We can run them all at the same time. So this format allow us to learn from every step of the code. So how do I run it? Well, there is an icon, forward icon where my mouse is. So let's click on the first cell. If you see this dash sign, that line will not run. Let's keep moving. Let's run the next cell. Okay, let's keep running. The third cell, we should get a map. You can adjust the width of your notebook if you need to. You can choose here widen or if you need more space, but we run 3 cells and now we're seeing a map. Now, how we created a map? Look at the commands. Let's look at the first commands. I'm going to import the Python library called EE. Did you get that?
That's it for us, a code.
Oh, okay, yes, you're getting that question. So you are getting let me see what you're getting. Yes, it says to authorize needed full array, right? And they give you an address and a box. Copy the address with your mouse.
Can you show what you got to get the map up? You know,
Say that again.
can you show how you got this?
Yeah,
the map.
but to get the map, let me see the screen. Yep. First you need to run that one. Then the next one. It's running. The star means it's running. Okay. Then the next one. Okay. Now you are getting the. Okay. If you got that web link, copy it, paste it on a tab, and access there. It's going to ask you, do you authorize the use of this website to link it to your Google Earth Engine resources, you're going to say yes. When you finish that process, it's going to give you a code. You will copy that code and paste it on the box.
Okay.
That's for cloud projects.
If it asks for a cloud project, okay, click choose project, create a new project, no organization, just click select. Yep. Say what it says. Give me my username. Okay. Change it to your, what's your, give it a username there. EE dash my username. Okay. It says, yeah, click there, click in the terms of I agree. Okay, and then you can okay, does anybody have issues with that, with the activation? Okay, don't select that yet. Generate token. Okay. Continue.
You select use read only.
No, don't select use read only. Select the email that you're using for this, continue. And allow it both. Continue. Yeah, you see the actualization code is below. The click on the double square, paste it on the box, on the box. Enter. Okay.
So strange.
Yes. Yes. Continue. Select both. Continue. Here's the session code. Click on the double square. Go to your yeah. Paste it on the box. Enter. Control V. There we go. Anybody else? You got it? Okay, everybody got the map? Perfect. All right. So everything now is linked. Google Earth Engine, GitHub, Jupyter, HydroShare. So now you have the map. So to get this map, you have to run the previous cell. So GEEMAP is going. So make sure you have run the first cells. Okay, now you have the map. So now the next cell, it says add a DEM to the map. It's going to create the variable DEM. It's going to call an image that has the name of the R file in the Google Earth Engine datasets. Is the USGS, the DEM is called 3DEP 10 meters. And here is the visualization variable, minimum 0, maximum 4,000, palette, and it's going to use a library to generate the range of colors. So run this cell, click on the cell and run. Go back to the map. Oh, why is not my layer there? I need to add the layer to the map. So the next cell says map.addLayer variable DM, use the variable visualization and call it DM. Click on the cell and run. Now you have imported successfully, if you reach this point, a digital elevation model. Okay. Excellent. Okay. Now that we do that, now let's here the next cell says let's add land cover data. Okay, and add it to the map. So we're going to import this variable. Is the land is the national land cover land use map from 2019. There are several bands. We're going to select the land cover. We're assigning that to this variable. Then we're going to say add to the map without visualization parameters. Call it NLCD 2019 and add legend. Remember we're talking about adding a legend? Let's give it a try. Let's run those two cells. You got now the land classification map there. So I can expand more if I need more space. I think I can do this. I think I can do this one. Yeah. Okay. So how can I see the other layer, the DM layer? You click in the range icon, and next to the range icon, there is this 3-layer or this sandwich icon. Click there, and here are your options for visualization. NLCD, DM, and Google Maps. So you can turn off, turn on. Is everybody able to see this option?
No.
Okay, now, say that again.
You provide me 2 legends.
Oh, you run it twice.
That's fine.
Yes, when you run it twice,
So I have to run from the first.
yes, start again from the beginning. Okay, now one trick here. You see this bar, this horizontal bar next to the names? Those are transparency. So let's make the NLCD semi-transparent. So I can make one layer more transparent. Cool. All right. So now okay, this is the way how we are going to generate a map, import an image, Landsat, MODIS, DM, population, whatever we found in Google Earth Engine is the same procedure to bring it here. What this example is going to show us here, the last 3 cells, it says, I'm going to do zonal statistics. What does it mean? It says, calculate zonal statistics by zone. So it's going to take the DM. Is in the land use map, I have categories for urban areas, for wetlands, for agriculture, for forest. So for each category, I'm going to get in this case, the mean elevation value for the entire country. As you see, we're uploading a massive map. These maps are the pixel size is 30 meters. It's 30, I think the DEM is 10 meters. The DEM is 10 meters, but the land classification map is 30 meters. So trying to download that into a laptop and displaying it you need a powerful computer. This example relies that everything is being done in Google servers. So, but the task here is I'm going to calculate the average elevation mean of the forest, of the agricultural land, the fallow area for the entire United States. So what it says, let's look at the code. It's going to say statistics equal GMAP, give me statistics of the image by zone. The layer to be aggregated is the DEM. The zone is going to be defined by the by the units in the land cover, and the aggregation, which is called reducer, is the mean. I could put median, I could put the standard deviation, I could ask for the mean, the max, and plot the stats. Let's run that cell. So if you have worked in Python, you might be familiar with pandas. Who have heard about pandas? Okay, pandas is a library that pretty much improves Python for the best forever. What pandas is a library that allows you to organize data in tables. In really nice, instead of having like dictionaries or lists, now you have a table and you can relate tables based on the values of one column, or you can expand a table, or you can do statistics on the columns of every table. So that's what I like about pandas. So in here, let me see. Here in the legend, let's look at the legend. Number 11 in the classification, in the land use map is water. 12, ice. 21, 22, 23, 24. The class 20 is urban areas. Class 30, barren land, rocks. Class 40 is forest. And where is agriculture is in class 80. So in class 80, so what we're seeing on the results already, zone 11, the average elevation, open water is 164 meters above sea level. So it has done zonal statistics for us. All the open water classifying the image. And class 80, 81 and 82, agricultural land in average in the United States is at between 261 to 433 meters above sea level. That's an statistic for the entire country. So imagine if you are doing, if let's say you classify a map into, let's say Cache Valley, we have agricultural area and urban area, and you have an image of 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. You can aggregate, you can get these areas per region and see the evolution of the total agricultural land and the total urban area in Cache Valley. How do you think those curves are going to be? Urban area is going to be increasing over time, right? So I could get numbers based on, I could get numbers of how much area has increased from every 5 years in Cache Valley, and how agricultural land might be declining over time. So this is zonal statistic, one of the tools that we have access to. Now, still this data is on the cloud. this table is on the cloud, but you need it in Excel, right? You need it for your analysis with other data that you might have, climate data or ground data. So here, the last two cells are going, the previous to last cell is going to write a file for you that you can import it into Excel or another database. So let's run this one. Okay, done. Where is the file? We need to go to our folder, and I think the file is added. Where is the file added? It has to be a CSV called min. So it's not here. Let me navigate back.
In that folder, you can sort by last modified.
Yes. Did you find it? Where is it?
It's in that folder that we were in.
Okay, let me, is it the examples, notebooks? Okay, last modified. There it is. Okay, there is a file of that table. Now, how do I get it to my computer? It's still in HydroShare, right? It's not on my computer. Right click to the file, download. Right click, download. Now it's on your computer. Now you got it out. So that's going to be like the mechanism to work with Google Engine. We don't have to download the data. We do all the analysis up there. Once we got our results, we get it out of there and we put it in ArcGIS Pro, in Excel, in Word. Now let's see what it does the last line. And with this, we will close this session. It says GEEMAP image stat by zone DM. Oh, it's passing an extra command. It's saying, hey, instead of me showing you the pandas table, let's write directly a file called standard deviation.csv. The reducer is the standard deviation. And you can see already that in my folder, I have a new file called standard deviation up here. Okay, fun. All right. All right, we achieved everything that we wanted to do today. Now we are ready to delve into reflectance data, pull satellite data, pull any resource that is giving us to Google Engine. Also, if you have data, but let's imagine you have drone data. It's not in Google Engine, okay? Can we upload that data to Google Engine and do the analysis with those tools and just retrieve the results? Yes, we can. So we will see that later. This is the end. Questions? Was everybody to run successfully all the steps? All right, very good. I need to think about the homework for this. The homework will be to choose another notebook from GEEMAP or GEEMAP. Not one. One will be too simple. Let's make it two. Let's make it two and show that the code runs successfully. Is that fair? Okay, very good. All right. Well,
What do you mean, like send it you the file?
no, I will need a screenshot or a capture of the screen that showing the maps, that you don't have errors in the code, so everything just run smoothly. You can choose from any of the videos. You can watch the videos of on YouTube and see, oh, it should be giving me this type of results. You get the same results. You show me a screenshot of the what you run. That's your credit for this lab. Fair? Okay. All right. I'll see you Monday then. Thank you very much. Have fun this weekend.